Okay, you didn't see that. This is my very first interview. Hi there, Wiser Tiger. So I'm feeling super Hollywood right now because it's my first interview. I'm being interviewed by the Dr. Dale, and she's interviewing me about my book. Why am I wearing this? I don't know. I'm gonna put my glasses on because she's gonna be asking me some questions. And
Everybody said just thank Monica. Monica, nice. Very, very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I did one of them that put 5, so I was good. Very, very good.
Can you hear that? Let me know if you can hear this, guys.
So everyone, good morning. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. We made it another day, another week. We made it another day, another week. We're alive. You know, some of, you know, for those that are a little out of it, under the weather, you know, it's coming to go. It's coming to go. So welcome to Breakfast with Champions. Oh my goodness. Today is a cool day, you guys. Today's a cool day. I'm doing an interview. We're doing an interview. For those that don't know, I am Dr. Dale. And I am a doctor on EQ and U. What is EQ? You say
Can you
emotional
hear?
Intelligence. Yeah, emotional intelligence. I empower individuals, leaders, business owners, corporate America workplaces to master their emotional intelligence. You say, why would anybody want to do that? Simple. 3 reasons. It allows them to be able to cultivate more fulfilling relationships, right? To be able to, I don't know, conflict resolution and not pop off on someone every single time somebody pisses you off, right? Be able to empathize with other people. Why would you want to be more empathetic, more compassionate, be able to see other perspective, right? Because your point of view is not the only point of view in the world. And most importantly, to be more self-aware. Self-aware is the bread and butter of emotional intelligence. It allows you to better understand yourself, start seeing patterns that motivates you, that triggers you, your weaknesses, your strengths, your behaviors, recognize them, be able to manage those emotions and the ones in other people. That is the crux of emotional intelligence. I was interviewed early this week, and by Small Biz Bites with Gwendolyn, and on LinkedIn and all the other socials. And the question that was asked is, emotional intelligence in today's world shows up because in every single one of us, each and every single one of us, every single emotions that you go through each and every single day, those are the same emotions that the person next to you are going through. They're the same emotions that you have, I have, and the reason why it's important to be able to go through each and every one of these different emotions, encompassing the spectrum of human emotions is vast, encompassing a range of feelings, experiences, interactions. You know, no emotions are not black and white, right? They're different colors, right? And the top 5, 6 emotions that you went through, that you have experienced, that I've experienced, our experiences may be different, but our emotions are exactly the same. You have had happiness, sadness, anger, fear. We talked a little, Monica talked a little bit about that earlier, right? Surprise, disgust, love, guilt, shame, pride, hope, jealousy, and of course, hate. Like hate. We've all experienced all of these different emotions. each and every single one of us, in one way, shape, or form. And with that, I want to bring in, I have my group coaching that it's on its ending, and I'm focusing more on one-on-one clients. And if you are interested in having more of a conversation, a one-on-one, the group coaching that I had clients in there that were as young as 25 and as old as 60, 70 plus. And again and again and again and again, it was, I think Monica alluded to it and mentioned it earlier as well. Even though you know, the interaction sometimes happens with one person, every single person in the group said the same thing. I didn't know I wasn't alone. I thought I was the only one that thought like that, felt like that. All of those list of emotions that I just mentioned, those are just a few. Those are just a few. There's so much more out there in the world, so much more that you have experienced, right? And each and every single one of those clients have mentioned they were not alone. They were happy to know that the person at 40 was going through the same thing, same emotions that the person at 25 was going through. And that they were not alone. And they felt great to know that they were not alone. And so the next step became, now, what do I do? How do I handle or go through this emotion, this past, the past that hurts, right? The trauma. How do I break it down? Where do I consolidate all of this stuff that was built in to me from people, from my past? We talked about this last week. Where does all of our, our experience, our thoughts of our negative thoughts of not loving ourselves and not accepting ourselves comes from our past. It comes from our experiences. We talked about that pretty deep last week. And this week we're going on a journey, and the focus is that word. Each and every single one of these different emotions, they bring a trauma behind it, right? And because they bring a trauma behind it, my question to you is, what is your trauma? So let's go here on a little journey. I'm going to bring in a conversation with an expert on overcoming deep trauma and what she went through. And she's just did her book. I'm sure you all know who she is, in case you didn't know. If you don't know, you're not in the know. But if you know, you know. And I want to bring in a conversation with Star Tina. Star Tina, are you available?
Hey girl, hey, how you doing?
Wonderful. For those that don't know, Tina, can you just give them who you are and your why?
Before I say who I am, can we just make some noise for Dr. Dale? Because I feel like I'm on the Oprah Winfrey show right now. Dale, that was amazing, girl. I was like, okay, come through, Barbara Walters. Unlike guys, make some noise for Dr. Dale. Woo-dee-woo-dee-woo. Hey, let's share out this room. Yes, give her a round of applause. Dale, all I can say is you have an amazing coach. I don't know who your coach is, but she is the bomb.
She is. And, she is. And I have to give you her name. I'm not going to say her name starts with Star, but I'll just leave it there.
Yes. So I've actually met Dr. Dale on this app December, I believe. And we said it this morning, if you've been in this room since earlier, your vibe is your tribe. I am a life and health coach, and I just went deeper and deeper into who I am and accepted it. And that's what I think we have to do as humans. When I finally said, okay, Tina, you're the trauma person. You're the person that's going to dig deep into that and accept it. it seems so much easier, Dr. Dale. So I am a Traumedy life and health coach. And Traumedy is when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide together. Ooh, baby, when this happens, things change in your life. And most people don't talk about this. They don't want to experience, they want to run away from it. But God is gifting me. And I think Health said this earlier. Certain people have certain gifts and certain talents. And God has given me the gift to accept the traumas and understand them and push through the pain so I can help other people. So that's what I do, Dr. Day. And sometimes people don't have those things because I'll make you guys laugh. Don't laugh too hard. I had my discovery one-on-one call with Dale. And at the end of the call, she was like, well, you know, I don't really have any traumas or tragedies. I said, so why did you reach out to me? She said, because I like your energy. So that's who I am in a nutshell. Back to you, Dale.
Because that's exactly where I wanted to pinpoint drop a little nugget. Did you guys know that, Tina, you know this already, you probably know this already because this is your area. 70% of adults in the United States have experienced some type of traumatic event at least once in their lives. 70%. And that 70% racks up to be about 223 million people. And traumatic event does not mean, it doesn't only mean, what are some traumatic events, Tina? Like, give me like 3 or 4 lists of
divorce, death of a loved one, losing a job, empty nest syndrome. It could be as big or as small as you think.
Exactly. You don't think it's trauma, but it is. Some minor ones is anxiety.
Loss of a dog.
Angry outbursts.
Children getting on your nerves. Driving you to drink.
How about fear of the future?
Love that. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Come on. That's exactly what I wanted. Who else?
Let's pour into this trauma right now. Let's hear it.
Getting lost in the store when you're 3 years old.
Oh my gosh. Monica. And remembering it. Oh my gosh.
I have one for you. Having your child pass out in your arms and you didn't even know what was wrong with them.
This is some deep stuff, you guys. You see how
about these days losing your phone? I'm sorry, I started to.
You see how we make it fun? You got to make this trauma fun, guys.
Oh my goodness. As simple and as severe. As simple as and severe. Anybody else want to pop in and say anything else from their perspective on trauma? What is your experience on trauma? So it doesn't have to be as severe. I think, Renee, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, my dad was murdered when I was 4.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Renee.
That's okay. Yeah, it still gets to me, but I'm working on that.
You're working on that. So I'm glad you said that because that's exactly where I wanted to go next. That's exactly where I wanted to go next. So Tina, let me ask you some questions here. Anybody have any questions? Let's put it in the chat. Let's get a conversation going. Tina can answer your questions, and she wrote a book. She wrote a book about it. So I have some questions here, Tina. Is that okay if I just throw them at you?
Let's go for it, girl. This is amazing. Let's go. Let's go.
What do you hope readers will take away from this book about trauma and the healing process?
Well, listening to just this room right here, I'm hoping people will face their fears and stop putting them in the past. Like we heard some things this morning from people being lost in a shop store when you're 3 years old. I heard someone else talk about a loss of their father, and a lot of people just run away from it. So I'm hoping, not hoping, with this book, people will face their fears and understand there is life after the trauma. I always say there's a great section in the back with at least more than a dozen things to help you cope and get through. So I'm hoping people will face the fear so that they can live the life that God wants them to live. And some people blame God, they get mad at God, they lose their religion. And I'm just hoping they're like, okay, I can do this. That's my main, thing.
Yes. Tina, what is the name of your book?
The name of the book is Traumedy. That's the main name, girlfriend. We've been going back and forth with this title, and I think it's scary. Like, I was listening to Oprah Winfrey yesterday on her podcast, and she does books, and I'm like, I want this book to it's going to change the world. So the title's got to be put out, right? So at first I was going to do Mind, Body, and Soul. I was going to do A Mother's Grief. I went to Barnes and Noble, and I could not find one book that talked about traumas or tragedies. So the name of the book is Traumedy. There's some other stuff to be behind it, but honestly, I don't even remember. I'm sure Renee will put it in the chat. But Traumedy is the main name.
I'm not even going to say if you're interested, you want this book. Okay? You guys want this book. Let me go on to my other question. What challenges did you encounter while writing this book, Tina?
Girl, I'm still having the challenges. The first challenge was that imposter syndrome we all have, and I was getting it big time yesterday. I'm not a doctor. I'm not Dr. Dale. You guys hear how she talks, right? She's like, she didn't even practice for this morning. I'm not saying it pisses me off. I'm not saying I have to take a whole day to practice and Dr. Dale just gets on the chat. But I was like, well, I don't know if I'm equipped enough. I know I am equipped enough, but then I said, you know what? I asked Dr. Dale, I asked another doctor to put their information in there as well for stuff that I don't know, emotional intelligence. So Dr. Dale has a section in the book. I have another doctor, Aisha, she's in here. She is a psychiatrist, psychologist. So that was one of my fears of doing the book. And then I guess I thought of this right now, reading the chat here, because as I'm reading the chat here, someone put, I don't feel comfortable sharing my trauma, but yet feel like it weighs me down. It's emotionally conflicting. Someone else put family betrayal, childhood abuse. Someone put courage at the forefront and definitely feeling the vibe here today. Face your fears and there is life after trauma and it's a journey. Yes, Dr. Emerald, it's a journey. Yes. And I'm not afraid, but I want people to open it up, but I want them to heal themselves as well. And Dr. Dale, it seems like no matter who I'm around, the drama comes, right? The family drama. And I'm that person to turn it around, right? Like there was a family, I don't mention names, but there's a family, I'm a part of one of, and then I see all this drama, like, hold up, wait a minute. Okay, I can't deal with you guys unless we fix this ish. So I literally had like a whole family intervention and this from 1950 and this from so you got to face the fears. That's back to you.
100%. 100%. Tina, you mentioned the section on EQ in the book, EI. How does your book address the importance of EI in the healing journey?
Okay, you said EQ.
You want to give them a little snippet?
A little, very, very little. But you said EQ. I'm like, okay, what is EQ? Is this something else I don't know?
Emotional quotient. Same thing as emotional intelligence. Emotional quotient is a little bit more. It's been around. That word has been around a lot longer than EI.
And you guys see why I have Dr. Dale in my book, right? So the emotional intelligence, I left it all up to her with that because I'm not saying I'm new with it, but it's a challenge, guys. I was talking to my therapist yesterday. I was in couples therapy with my guy, and he's saying stuff, and I'm like, but I don't want to do that. That's like being a grown-up. Emotional intelligence is pretty much just sucking it up and being honest with yourself, being real. So that's all I'm saying about emotional intelligence in it. And I loved your statistic earlier, 70% of Americans. Like, stop hiding, guys. Face the fears and come to the rainbow. Come to the unicorns with us. It's great.
Yes, it is. And I'm glad you said that, Tina, because I'll tell you, when I did my research on emotional intelligence, some of the leaders in the organizations were doing very, very varied strategies and tips of emotional intelligence, and they didn't know. And one of the ones they were doing, like, their, of course, motivation and empathy and self-awareness and social skills and all of that. But they were doing, like, they were sitting down in focus groups and simply giving their frontline employees a seat at the table. And that may seem small, but they were listening to them. And that is that's a point in emotional intelligence. And you were already using your laughter, your energy, your family, your team as a way to cope with all of these different things and this trauma that you were going through at the time. So you were doing it, you didn't even know.
That's wild, right? It was God, girl. That's all I can say.
You were doing it, you didn't even know. So what advice would you give to someone who has experience that we're not going to give them all the tidbits and strategies and stuff, but if you wanted to tell them to begin their healing process, their journey, what would you say? What is one thing you would say to do first?
So as I'm reading this quote from Jackie Brannigan here on Clubhouse, she wrote, Dr. Dale, finally telling someone made it not my shame anymore. Bad childhood experiences, unless confronted, can affect how you feel about yourself throughout your life. Speak up, share, and heal. I'm sure it's in my book somewhere, not in those exact words, but right there, Dr. Dale, speak up, share, and heal. You're not only healing yourself, but you're healing someone else, that person that is afraid to speak up. I was having a conversation the other day with a very, very good friend of mine, and my relationship with God has been up and down kind of sort of lately, and it's pretty good now. So I pray a lot more. At the end of our fitness classes, we pray. And I was at my girlfriend's house, and I was so hungry. It was like a feast of food on the table, and I just jumped in. And normally we hold hands, we say a beautiful prayer. And the next morning we had a feast for breakfast, and I prayed, and I had a conversation with her because we never talk about faith or God. And long story short, we had a conversation, and she shared with me how something happened in her childhood, and she was about to start crying, but then, someone came in the room, so she had to stop. So she's been holding this trauma in her body. I didn't even know. I've known her for like 25 years, and she's never told anyone. So as Jackie says, speak up, share, and heal so that you can get rid of that pain. It's like a sore inside your body. It's just like maggots. Just think of maggots, just like disgust. I want you to Google. I'm going to put a picture of that in the book. Renee, let's add that. A picture of disgusting maggots. Just it's white, it's gross, it's green, it's gross. That's what's happening in your body. It's causing stress. It's causing cancer. It's causing pain, and you have to let it go. So that's my tip, Dr. Dale.
My goodness. Did you guys hear? Let it go. Patty put in the chat, how about people who suffer in loneliness? That is a challenge for me in helping others, because I actually find that lonely is actually time to be complementation, yet some people suffer from loneliness. Tina, what do you say to that?
So for that, I get it. And I'm a bully, right? I say I'm a bully because I want everyone to be as strong as I am. I'm like, if I can do it, you can do it. But we have to take you where you are. So if you're feeling lonely, as God would say, it's not God, it was Diana Ross, reach out and touch somebody's hand. There's always someone there. Close your eyes, reach up to God and pray. Because on one of my shoulders, I have that stupid little devil. Pluck them off my shoulder if you're watching me on socials, because I'm on socials now. But then I always look to that light on the other side. So there's always God there. You are never alone. There's always someone. And at the end of the day, come to me, because I'm the queen of it. And I just I feel like I'm Wonder Woman sometimes, Dr. Dale. I like to think that I get rid of that negativity.
Because you are. Because you are. Renee just I think she put the link in the chat again. You want this book. You need this book. Tina has, for those that don't know, she has her story, her why for doing this book. Her son was killed, and it started there. And I believe, personally speaking, I think it started way before that. And it gave her strength to do see where she is today. And I'm not going, there's no crying, and there's no crying in baseball, they say.
Softball, girlfriend. I think it's softball.
There just isn't. And I'm going to say this quote as we wind down here, Tina. Whatever the cause, you cannot get better by simply trying harder on your own. You need help. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Janelle.
Hey, darling, how are you? Happy Saturday.
Wonderful. Happy Saturday.
I just wanted to comment real quick on this conversation. And, you know, you said there's no crying in baseball. And I think that's one of the things that we hold ourselves back with, right? Especially when we're going through an emotional time. And trauma, like Tina said, trauma can be different things. It might be the loss of a relationship. It could be the loss of a job. It could be, you know, loss of a home, whatever it is. It's still a trauma to the person that's experiencing it. And when we don't allow ourselves to feel the emotion in that moment and say, yes, maybe this was something that may have sideswiped me, or maybe I went into it with my eyes wide shut. But at the end of the day, if I can tap into the source of power that is inside of me, then I can come through this. And I've noticed when I've had trying times in my life, those were actually the times where I got closer to God, because I leaned on him so deeply that he showed me ways to get out of those situations. And 100%. So I just really want to thank you guys for this conversation. And I think one of the narratives that we have to stop telling ourselves is that it is not okay to feel what we're going through. It is okay to feel it. It's just not okay to stay there. This is Linnell Burns. I'll go ahead and mute myself out.
100%, Linnell. 100%.
Dr. Dale, I want to jump in really quick because I see some stuff in the chat. So when Dr. Dale said no crying in baseball, I think she meant in this segment right here with her and I, because some people can, like, you know, it's okay to cry. She's never saying that. And then I hear someone who, go ahead. She didn't mean that. Yes, you want to cry.
We'll have a crying session. All of us will have a crying
Exactly.
session. We can go on.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So a secret for you. This is what I does, all that stuff. When my Traumedy first happened, I legit would cry for 45 minutes straight, Dr. Dale. I was like, can I lose some weight from all these damn tears? And then it went to like 30, right? And then I was like, okay, Tina, you don't have time for this. I dropped it down to 30 minutes, then 15 minutes. Now I'm at like about 3 to 5 minutes. So take as long as you want, but don't stay in that misery. Someone else put the calm, put calm never comes. Yes, people. You can reach the calm. You can have that beautiful rainbow. Trust and believe. I couldn't believe all the crap I went through in my life. Like Dr. Dale said, it was probably more before this. It started as a child and we don't even realize it. So I throw it back to you, Dr. Dale.
100%. Everything that you have said. Patty said, what choice do we have? Stay stuck or move forward in courage? Move forward in courage. I got tired. That's why I decided to pursue. I got tired of people being bullied in the workplace, employees being hurt. When are you tired of crying, or you got to get it out of your system? First of all, stop, let it out, get your tribe. I just read that quote on whatever the cause, you cannot get better by simply trying harder. Oh, I'm going to try harder and not cry. No. I want you to not try to not cry. I want you to cry. Because the quicker and sooner you get it out of your system, you go scream, you go hit pillows, you go to the gym and just whatever it is you need to do to get it out, you better get it out. Because if you don't get it out, it shows up. It will. Not if. Listen to what I said. Not when. It will show up in your life. And if you stop and you think where you went and got your frustration out on people and someone that was completely innocent, that did not need that frustration because you decided not to deal with your emotions, that's on you. Get it out. Deal with it. Let it out. Sing it out to the clouds, to the heavens. get with a therapist, get with a coach, get with somebody, talk to somebody. Because you think people don't want to help you, they do. And there is help out there. And it's time to heal from that traumedy, from that trauma. So, Renee, if you can put Stars Tina's book link in the chat again. Thank you guys for this conversation.
Dr. Dale, I'd just like to end off before you throw it over to the next person. Tomorrow I have a masterclass happening. You can go to my Instagram. It's an Elevate Your Business Masterclass. I'm also I have a podcast and a TV show with Apple E360 Limelight with Araya. And if you have a story that you want to share, if you have a traumedy, please tap into me, because after my book, which is coming out in a couple of days, I'm revving up one for the end of the year. It's going to be a traumedy, mothers or moms or women or human. Again, I don't know the title. And I want to share other women's stories. So if you have a trauma and you'd like a section in the book, tap into me. Thank you. This is my first interview, Dr. Dale. I'm so excited. I had to record it. Thank you. Thank you. Back to you.
Oh my goodness. I'm throwing it over to the next speaker. Sorry, Marilyn, for if I went over that minute or two.
That would be the amazing Health Well. She is continuing her, Dreamers Row. I'm sorry, I was going to say part 2 of Dreamers Row, because the first one just wasn't enough. So with that, Health Wells, go ahead and jump on in if you are ready.
Can we all on mic and give Dr. Dale and Stars a big old you know what's coming?
Woo!
Let's go. Let's wake up the stage. Woo! 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 Yes, I was like, I wish I had the sound effects. I don't know why it doesn't work anymore for me, y'all. But listen, y'all ready for Dreamers Row Part 2? Do y'all realize what month we are in? It is August. Listen, this is the anniversary month of the Dream Speech. And here's the thing. I got literally some of my favorite dreamers, because I couldn't fit them all in last week, but I had to keep this thing going. I want to thank Christina. This is normally her segment, for allowing us to continue with Dreamers Row Part 2. Guess what I'm kicking it off with, y'all? Stars Tina. Bum, 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 bum. And then we going down Dreamers Row. We got Wendy. We got T.M. Hyman. We got Liddell. And we got Levi Fox with the foxhole finish. Listen, I am so excited, y'all. I cannot contain myself. So I got to start out with my favorite quote in the form of a question by Dr. King. He asked each of you, this ain't mine, he's asking you and me. He said, what's in your life blueprint? What is in your life's blueprint? It's the most important question. He said that you need to answer. What's in your life's blueprint? We have blueprints for buildings. We have blueprints for a whole lot of stuff that gets built. But what about our life? What's in your life's blueprint? I hope somebody will type that question in the chat. So here's the thing I want you to understand is that I know a part of my blueprint is to help people with hypertension. Well, part of my blueprint is to also put books in the hood. So on my link, you guys will see an opportunity to tap into Mabel's Virtual Health School. Heart disease doesn't have to kill your family. Guess what? Also, we don't have to have literacy to still be a challenge in the way that it is for our K through 12 students. There are a lot of kids that reach high school that's still on a first grade reading level. I'm not worried about complaining about what the parents or that school system did or didn't do. I'm just simply putting books in the hood. How about that? We're doing what we could do. So those are my 2 dreams that I wanted to kick this thing off with. So if you guys feel so inclined to help me, help our kids, and to help me help create 2 million centenarians, because you can't be one if you got hypertension. You can't be one if you got heart disease. So I'm after public enemy number 1. So those are my 2 dreams. So I want to bring this conversation on over. You can tap into the link up top, and we'll also drop it in the chat. I am Shantae Health Wells, and I want to thank you, Miss Stars Tina.
Hey, girl. Hey, I'm ready. I'm nervous, but I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, go ahead and open us up. What's one of your favorite dream or dream-oriented quotes? And you got a book recommendation for us?
So as I was looking at your questions, I'm like, there's so many books. I'm just going to say the Bible is going to be the book for me. One, because it's very challenging for me to read and understand. But when someone helps me, I get so much knowledge out of it. So I'm going to say the Bible because I really want to tap into that more. And quote that I like for dreamers, quote. I'm going to give my own quote. Your vibe is your tribe, because for me, that's what helps me each and every day of my life to make my dreams come true and to support other people to make their dreams come true. That's it.
I am feeling this, y'all. Listen, we got to keep this dream grow train going, and we can't do that if we ain't got more people in this room. We can't do that if we're not actually tapping into the power of one more, right, Stars? Because Stars is one of those that always reminds us that we got to make sure that we share this room. And so I really want more people to be able to hear about Stars. And guess what? Not only that, her son's dream. I was so inspired when I heard her story. And so I was like, I gotta kick this thing off with Stars. Listen, Stars, can you tell us about maybe a personal and a professional dream? I know you've shared, given us some tidbits from time to time through the year about your son's dream, but I really want to take this moment and ask you, what's a dream that you're working on, personally and professionally?
I love that question. So for me, health, whenever I'm doing something, when I'm close to the end, I start working on the next thing. So I would say my book, but my book is just about done. So yesterday, when I was recording for my podcast/TV show, I had Pastor Jeff on. If you guys have ever heard Pastor Jeff, just put some stars in the chat, because if you thought knew him, there are levels. So from this conversation with him yesterday, Health, and listening to Dr. Dale today, I reached out to Ramon, and I want to put together an in-person event, not a summit, like a master event for Traumedy. So people can speak about it and share their wisdom and tips and all that wonderful stuff. I'm thinking August of next year, because it's something that's never been done before. And I was like, T.D. Jakes or whoever, I don't know. I'm just putting it out in the universe. I want to put together a huge event, maybe 500, 600, 1,000 people coming together, getting inspired. So that is the big dream I want to do for next year. And listening to Dr. Dale this morning just kind of like put it into my soul. Yes, Tina, you got to do this. You got to do this. So that's my big dream.
All right, I can't let you off the hook without sharing, because I think that dreams don't have an expiration date. Dreams don't have an age, limit to it. And so I just really want to, bring up your son's dream and tell us what his dream was, Tina, because there's some people that maybe they think like, oh, I'm too young to dream.
Oh my gosh. So parents, it starts at a young age. My children saw me hustling. I was on the hustle bus all the time, and I never told them what to do. I just said, tap into your dreams, what you want. I actually, Shantae, I don't know if you know, I had a modeling studio, and my thing was to find out what a child's thing is. What do they love to do? I do that with my nonprofit as well. The boys, what do they want to do? And to be honest, I didn't know what my son wanted to do, girlfriend. It was really like me and my daughter, and I knew he'd like sneakers, but I didn't really know what sneakers were about. When he was 18 and it was time for college, he was like, Mom, I'm going to open a sneaker store. And I was like, what are you talking about? That makes no sense. He opened up one store, it failed. He opened up a second store. It was a phenomenal. When he had the second store, he actually had 2 stores at once, one in New Jersey, one in Pennsylvania. He wanted another one in California. So his main dream, even though it was the stores, it was bigger than that, Shantae. He was a motivational speaker. He would go to children, not orphanages, but different places and speak to young men. And he'd even speak to us, but he wanted a family. He wanted to get a big house for me. He wanted to just give back to his family and the community. So that was his dream. And I feel it's my job, my duty to just make his dream live on. So that's why I have the Boys Nonprofit. That's why I'm taking these shoes to Nigeria to live his life, live his legend. And that's about it. I mean, that's in a nutshell. I don't want to be here all day.
Love that. I love that. You guys, can we just we gotta put a rule in there. We gotta give her son's dream a Ric Flair. Come on, y'all. Come on with it. All right, so stars. I have my own health show. It's a 20-minute health show that I call a 100 Health Show, and I have a segment that I call a Boom Shakalaka. And so, since we're talking about dreams, I like to have a boom shakalaka to some dreamers that you may know of, or whether you know them personally or from afar. So, are there one or two dreamers that you'd like to give a boom shakalaka to?
Boom, shakalaka, laka, boom, boom, boom. First one is my daughter, who is amazing, and she just wants to change the world. She wants to do retreats and all wonderful stuff. So I'm sending light to her to support her. And then Dr. Dale, because I see little baby Dale in Honduras, and whenever I speak with her, and so yeah, I'm giving a boom shakalaka to those two dreamers right there for me.
I love that. I appreciate that. And then would you tell us one of your, MLK inspired quotes that you'd like to leave us with before we open up the floor for 2 minutes to take some Q&A for you?
Yes. So Dr. Martin Luther King's quote that I want to share for you today. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, stars. If I had the air horn, I don't know if someone can play it for me, but that's what I would be playing right now. So. Absolutely love it. So who'd like to tap into stars? We got about 2 minutes, and we're going on to our next streamer. So anyone wants to bring up anything or ask stars any questions or, tap in with her, now's the time. The floor is open.
I just love that your kids have dreams. Like I taught my kid, I only have one, to dream. And, perhaps when you were younger, you weren't allowed to dream. I wasn't so much, maybe you were, stars, but I think when we can instill that in the next people, next generation, younger, the youth, it's like the world's just going to be a better place for it. So I love that you're living on with the legend.
And this is Araya. Stars, Tina, I'm just so proud of you. You are just so amazing how you've turned everything in your life into a purpose, a reason, a legacy. And you are the biggest lifter-upper of other people. I mean, I am praying for you for next year. I'm going to be at that summit you're going to do. It is going to change people's lives. And I just want to say kudos to you. Keep dreaming big. There is no dream too big for God. And I love you.
Thank you.
Stars, Tina.
Yes.
This is your mother. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to say how proud I am of you. I did what my mom told me to do. I was 19 when I had you, and my mom said, keep her busy. And that's why I put you in everything I could think of and let you choose what you wanted to do, because I knew you were for greatness. And I'm so proud of you. And I love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Oh, stars, y'all about to make me cry. That is such a beautiful moment. Wow. So this got started with your mom, even with supporting the dream. So of course you pass that on to your kids. I love this, stars. Do you have any closing words you want to say to any of the people or any feedback for them?
I just want to say I love my tribe and I need this every day. So I want to welcome, all the people on the bottom. Sorry. Kim, Real, PSA. Katina, that's my real name, by the way, Katina. Radha, Hari, welcome to this house. Make this house your home by clicking at the top. Share the room out. I'm here Monday, 5 a.m., kicking in the doors. Tomorrow, I have a masterclass. It's absolutely free. Click the link at the top. And you guys brought me so much joy today. I feel so good. So good. Health. Woo! I love you, girlfriend. Are you going to Mary Lynn's event?
I'm trying to reel it in.
Well, I think I heard a TR.
I'm always looking for an excuse to get into that area.
I think I heard a TRY word. I think I heard a TRY. I think that doesn't exist. So I'm going to see you there.
Right. I'm making it happen. How about that?
Yes.
How about that?
Yes, I'll see you there. Thank you for this great segment, for reminding us to keep the dream alive. Keep the dream alive. Thank you, Mama.
Oh, I appreciate that, y'all. Can we show some love for stars? Can we put some in the chat? Can we put some stars in the chat? I am so grateful for her for kicking us off. And speaking of gratitude, woo-hoo-hoo. Yes, come through with the sound effects. I need them. So my next dreamer is from a movement that's very near and dear to my heart, which is all about